morning, my little coffee beans, and welcome to Madeline's Life Management. Today I'm going to be talking about how I achieved a 4.0 throughout college. My dad will tell you that I never took homework home. I had a rule that school stays at school, and then, you're involved in a lot in high school, and I never really needed to study. But then I got to college and I studied more in that first week than I had in my entire high school career. I decided that things would need to be a bit different when it came to studying. So what I did was at the beginning of every semester, I looked at my classes and I set aside an hour each day for those classes. Now I know this is extreme, and later on I would cut back the time depending on how much effort the class actually took. I started out by doing all the readings. I had a very wise teacher in psychology of aggression who said, don't full out copy the slides down in class. Now I know some people, my husband included, that learn by writing things down. He's right there on the couch, studying the foot.
Just the leg.
Studying the leg.
The thigh and the leg.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. But what I did is not only did I read all the materials that were assigned prior, but I would also print out the PowerPoints included in that class, and all of my classes at the time had PowerPoints. So if they don't have PowerPoints, just look over the pre-readings. But I would print out the PowerPoints, read them over so I knew what we were going to be learning about, and I already had questions in my mind that needed answers, and I kind of knew the setup for the class. So I knew what to listen for. If there were terms I didn't understand, I could look them up. So I came to class very prepared. Now during lecture, I would not take notes. I would sit there and listen with the PowerPoint slides in front of me, and if I did take any notes down, it was something that was not included on the PowerPoints that was extra, or a question that I got answered. And then after all my classes, at the end of the day, I would review those PowerPoints. Now, it came to pass that I got so good at this process that by my senior year, I just had to do those 3 steps, and I never really had to take any extra time to study for a test. Now, if study guides were included, I would complete the study guide whenever it was handed out. Normally, they were already all uploaded, so I would do it 2 weeks prior, and then every day after that, I would just review the material. So by the time the test came around, it took me maybe 15 minutes to complete a test and get 100. My best advice to any schoolgoer is to be thankful. I loved college. I loved school. I love learning. I still love learning, and I'm still an active learner. I read books, as you guys know, every single day, and I'm always, interested in something new. I think that's why my channel changes so often with what I'm interested in. Classes were always easier for me that I was interested in, that I was in the class to learn and not just for a grade. So going into the class seeking knowledge rather than a grade really changed my outlook, and I started this my sophomore year, and it made the classes more fun and interesting, and I was really doing what I loved, and I was excited to go to school every day. I also learned sign language, and with sign language you could do a little bit of pre-work, but it was mainly being in the class, being interested. And I remember a study method for sign language was when I would daydream in sign. If I had a conversation with my fiance at the time, I would have it in my mind in sign. If I was daydreaming, which I do often because I'm an introvert, I would sign in my daydream. If I was falling asleep, I would try to sign in my dream, and I actually did have a few dreams where I was signing in conversation. So that's one method for language if you can't, have it in front of you and study like that. I really like straightforward studying. So by blocking out time for each class every day, I already knew my schedule, and I had open blocks of time that I set aside just for doing what I enjoy. So that way I wasn't bogged down by everything I was learning. Rather, it would be fun and encouraging, and I would kind of be able to separate my life so it never became overwhelming and I didn't get burnt out. You can still get a great grade, but you just have to be wise about your time management. I never studied after 9 o'clock. After 9 o'clock, my brain shut down and I was tired. I didn't study anything hardcore after 9 because I'm a morning person, and so late at night my neurons just aren't firing as fast. No one's neurons are firing as fast, but mine especially, I could feel them slowing down. I knew I wasn't going to retain the information, so I went ahead and just had that stipulation on myself, that standard put on myself. And of course there are going to be classes that you don't actually have to do the readings if you don't want to. You learn everything in class, And so, start off doing everything, but after the first exam, you kind of understand the expectations that you will be held accountable for. So then you can kind of decide whether or not you're going to do the readings and all that fun stuff. So yeah, that's what I have for you on studying. Thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in my next video.